start recording, and my recording has started. Okay, so we'll be talking about loops. Like I told you in class, do you guys want to be seeing me while I explain? A loop is a repetitive structure that what it does is it runs a block of code over and over again provided a condition is met. And I want you to look at this flow chart here. Can you see this flow chart of a loop? Confirm if you can see that. The response is low. I hope all is well. Ah, can you guys still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Let me just continue. Even if you can't hear me, then at the end of the day, I have the video recorded. I can upload it on YouTube. Then we can as well watch it there. Okay. So now, when you look at this closely, you can see the flow chart of a loop. This is how the iteration starts. Now, we have a condition. Okay. Now we're checking. It goes from here to this place, and this is a condition. It now checks. If condition is true, then conditional code. You run the code and goes back again. It's keep rotating till this condition is met. But if this condition is false, then it goes down this way, execute other lines of instruction below the loop, or the program terminates. Okay. Now, type of loops in Python programming language includes a for loop and a while loop. Okay, let me go to integrated development environment and showcase that. Okay, for a for loop, basically a for loop is used to loop through list, dictionary, arrays, tuples, and any data structure you can think of in Python programming language. So we say for, we use the keyword for, then iterator for iterator in a range. So basically what loop does is that it takes a range of value and goes through them one after the other. So we say for iterator in range 100, which means this loop will be running from 0 to 99. Remember, most of the times you can see for I in range 100, I there means iterator. So most of the times you can see for I in range 100, then whenever you put a column, you are now declaring a code block, which is a code that is conditional. It can only run when the iterator condition is satisfied, which means I is less than or equal to, sorry, I is 0 and I is less than 100, which means I runs from 0 to 99. Or you can say 1 to n minus 1. Okay, so now this is where you write your conditional code, and these are the codes that will run provided this condition is met. So let's reduce this to 10. Then I'll come down here and I'll print I. Now this program, what it does basically is to print 0 to 9. Okay, when I run this, you can see 0 to 9 down here printed. That is how for loops works. So for instance, you can use for loop to iterate through array, you can use it to iterate through list, you can use it to iterate through tuples, you can as well use it to iterate through dictionaries. Okay, let me go up here and have a list. Let's say list items. Someone's mic is on, please turn it off. List items to have Micaiah. I think I've got the spelling Micaiah. Abi? If that's right, just say yes. Then Daniel, then Samuel, then Priye, then the girl that is leaving us soon, and GT. Okay. Now this is a list of string that contains name of humans in Unicus Python class. Okay. Now, when I want to iterate through this, I can come here. I'll say for name in list items. That is how it works. For name in list items, which means it will be going through the items one at a time. So I'll print name. Okay. Remember that when you come down here to print list item, when I print list item, it will print list, but when I trade them one after the other, it will print one name per line. And when I execute this line of instruction, you can see Daniel Samuel Priye Dobra, Micaiah Daniel Samuel Priye Dobra GT. And when you look at this, we have the whole of the list printed because we have it printed here. But when you iterate through them, it will print the item of the list one per line. Okay, so you can as well access the item of this list using their index number. Remember that the index of a list starts from 0 to n minus 1. So if you have something like 6 items in a list, their index starts from 0 to 5. If you have something like 10 items in a list, their index starts from 0 to 9. So it works the same way the range operator, sorry, the range function works in Python programming language. So what I will do here is to come down here and I will say for I in range len list items. Okay, then I will come here and I will say list items, then I. Now this is what is going to happen here. Let me comment this out first, then I will show you this. If I come down here and say print list items then 0, this is going to print Micaiah because Micaiah is the first element in the list which has index 0. Okay, so when I run this, let's confirm, we can see Micaiah here. All right, so if I want to print Daniel, Daniel has index 1. Okay, and when I run this, I can see Daniel. All right, now remember that the range operator returns 0 to n minus 1. So since we say the length of this returns 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me count it clearly to ensure that we have 6 items there. Okay, okay, we have one. Okay, it's fine, it's correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 elements. So in here, these len items will return 6, which is an integer. So this will be something like range 6 in as form of the argument that the range operator receives in this scenario. Now, this range 6 will return 0 to 5, which means Micaiah is 0, Daniel is 1, Samuel is 2, Priya is 3, Dobra is 4, and this is 5. Okay, so that works perfectly with the same way we want it to be. So when we run this program, it's the same thing as saying for name in list items, print name. So this will print Micaiah, Daniel, Samuel, Priya, Dobra, Jite, all on a different line. So with that being done, let me click the play button and you can see we get the required result. And that is 4 loops in Python programming language. Another loop in Python programming language is the while loop. Both for loop and while loop is a loop in Python programming language, but there are a distinct difference between them. While loop checks a condition before executing the conditional code. This is how it works. Let me take down this. Let me comment this out. I'll come here. I'll say counter equals 0. Okay. Now I'll say while counter is less than or equal to 10, then I'll say print counter. Then I'll come down here. I'll say counter plus equals 1. Okay. So I'm incrementing the value of a counter by 1 after an iteration. So when I go the first time, the counter is 0, 0 is less than. Now this is what I say that while loop checks the condition first before executing the conditional statement. Now, before this part of code will be run, first the while loop will check, is counter less than or equal to 10? Yes. 0 is less than or equal to 10, then it will print 0. Okay, now it will add 1 to 0, 0 will become 1. Is 1 less than or equal to 10? Yes, 1 is less than or equal to 10, then it will print 1. Then it will add 1 to 1, becoming 2. It will do this process till when 10 is less than or equal to 10, which is still true, it will print 10. Then when it gets to 11, is 11 less than or equal to 10? False, and it will stop. So while loop check the condition first before executing the conditional statement. So here, if you want to print something like 0 to 9, I will remove this equality sign here. I will have while counter is less than 10, then print counter, counter plus equals 1. So what we're going to have here is 0 to 9, which is the same result returned by range 10. So when I run this, I'm having 0 to 9 as expected here. So this while loop, and the other one was for loop. So we can as well use this to iterate through these list items by coming here to uncomment this out. Then I will say counter is equal to 0, right? I will say while counter is less than len list items. Okay, then I'll print list items, list items counter, then counter plus equals 1. When I run this, I'm still going to get exactly the same result, which is Micaiah, Daniel, Samuel, Priye, Dobra, GT on the same line. Okay, I will give you 2 minutes to ask your question before we proceed to the next one. Please ask your question. Oh, the screen was frozen. I was not actually looking to on my screen while I was presenting, but I have the video recorded. I don't know for now. Can you guys still see the screen and hear me? All this is basically network glitches, but with the video recorded, you guys can enjoy it. Any question? Any question?
No, from me.
All right, perfect. Another person? Samuel, Micaiah, Priye, Dobra, GT. Any question?
No, I don't have any question.
Is the screen still frozen, Micaiah?
No, the screen is not frozen.
Okay. Samzi.
No, sir. The screen is not frozen.
I can't ask me your question now. Do you have any question?
No, I don't. I don't have any question.
Who is this fellow G-Star? Please rename yourself. Ah, he has left. What happened? You think I will ask you a question? Why did he leave? Okay, so let me go to our WhatsApp chat and let's see the next thing we have to offer. Some minutes, please. Let me get what we have there. Okay. List, tuple, and dictionary. I believe in class I said this. Okay. By now, Micaiah, you know list, tuples, and dictionary, or do you need us to touch it?
No, I know lists, tuples, but I don't know dictionaries.
Okay, it's
Or I'm not sure.
okay. Now, do you know about any dictionary, like I mean English or any word dictionary?
Yes.
Okay, now basically what you have there is you have a word and you have its meaning. That's how it's arranged, right?
Mm.
Okay, perfect. That's the same way dictionary works in Python programming language. So in Python programming language, dictionary works as key value pair. Okay, where you have a key in the left hand side, which is the same as a word you have in dictionary in the left hand side, and you have the meaning of that word in the right hand side, where you have the value of that word in the right hand side. That is perfectly how it works in Python programming language. Okay, but let me just take example of that so we can do something with that. Oh, where is my ID? Okay, this is it. I'm taking out all these. Sorry about that, guys. But let me just comment it instead of removing them completely. So I'll come down here. Now, To declare a dictionary, we use the name of the dictionary equals then curly bracket. Inside the curly bracket, that's where you have the key and value pair. So here I'm going to have user details, okay, equals, then open a curly bracket. I'll come down here, I'll put username, which is the key column, Daniel, okay. I'll come down again, I'll say password, which is the key, then password 123, okay. I'll come down here, I'll say age, then I'll say 100, okay. Then I think that's all for now. So this is dictionary in Python programming language. I can put this on a separate line, I can put it on the same line, it doesn't matter. So far they are in the same curly bracket and they are separated by comma and a column for a key value pair. That is dictionary in Python programming language. Okay, now in a list or tuple, we use index notation to access an item in a list or tuple. All right, but in dictionary, what we do is we use the key to access the value. For instance, if I want to get Daniel, what I will do here is I'll come down here and print user details, then username. Okay, this will give me Daniel. When I run this program, you can see Daniel down here. All right, so if I want to get the password, I'll come down here and print user details, then password. Okay, if I want to get the age, I'll come down here and say user details, then age. Okay, after doing this and execute, I'm going to say Daniel password 123 and 100. With that being done, let's click a play button. You can see Daniel password 123 and 100, which is the age. So this is basically what dictionary is all about. Okay, now if you want to add a new, or maybe you want to change this Daniel, like in a list, you can say access it by their index and assign a new value to it. Then you can come down here and say assigning, how assigning new value to a dictionary. Okay, you will say user details, then username, then equals Dokike instead of Daniel. Okay, and when I come down here, I'll copy this to print it again so that you see that it has been changed. Okay, and when I run this, you are now seeing Dokike instead of Daniel that you saw up here. All right, so there are other ways to get values in a dictionary. Instead of having this, for instance, if I have usernames, which is not a valid key in this dictionary, and I execute this, you can see an error, which is key error, usernames. Okay, so this error is basically telling you that the key usernames does not exist in the list of keys in that dictionary. So what do you do here? You can come here and use, to handle this error gracefully, you can say user details dot get. When you use this .get method, you provide the key that you want to get, which is username, and any value that you want to provide when this username is not defined, or sorry, when this username or when this key is not defined in that dictionary. So here you can say key not found. Okay, so when you do this and run this program, you are going to get Udokike anyways. You can see that you get Udokike, but when you use a key that is not valid, let's say usernames, then you run it and you see key not found. Okay, this is a way of making it to be more robust so that your code doesn't break whenever you have an invalid key. Okay, all right. So if you want to get the list of keys in a dictionary, you can say print user details dot keys. Okay, when you say user details dot keys, this is going to give you the list of keys you have in this dictionary. And when you run this, you are going to see username, password, and age. These are the list of keys you have in that dictionary. So when you want to see the values in the dictionary, you can print user details dot values. All right. When you click the play button, you can see all the values, dict values, dokike, password, and dict. All right. So that's that. What again? You can remove an item from a dictionary. You can replace an item, which is basically what we've done. So come down here. Let me comment this to be getting keys and values in dictionary. Okay. So you can come down here and say deleting items from dictionary. Okay. So you can say here user details dot. When you have this dot, you can see pop to remove an item, clear mutable, but for the pop, or you can come down here, update to update an item in the dictionary. Well, basically, this pop will remove the item in a dictionary. So we say this dot pop. All right. So when you click on pop, sorry, it's requiring an item. Okay, so you pop by the key. Okay, when you say this dot pop, let me put username and see what the output is. After which I'll say print um, user details to see what I have in there. Okay, when I run this program, you can see that the key and the value of username is gone. The only thing you can see here is password and age. Okay, so when you pop again for password, the password and username will be gone. Then the only thing you have there is just the age. That is how to remove items in a dictionary. Okay, so I think that's that for dictionary. If you have any question, please ask me. And again, there are some other methods you can use in dictionary: reassigning a dictionary, copying a dictionary, or concatenating or joining dictionaries. Okay, this is not all. And note that I'm just making this for you to see, basically. So I'm not looking at it from somewhere or maybe reading from somewhere, but there are some other methods you can cover in dictionary or some other logic you can implement. It's personal dependent. So what matters is to write a maintainable, scalable, and modular code. Okay, so ask your question if you want, or if you have, let's proceed. Dobra, you don't join
I
us.
don't have any.
Okay, Mikaya, you were saying something.
Oh, I said I don't have any questions. I understand.
Okay. Oh, you said the screen is frozen again. I understand this is basically network glitch. Okay, but the video I believe should be clear. When I'm done, I will upload it. All right. So most of them they will be covered. Okay, Dobra, what's
Okay.
up? How you doing? Abi Dobra, you just join us online. Leave your phone, go to sleep.
No.
See as your voice sharp. Okay, it's fine. All right. So let's continue. What do we have again? What do we have again? What do we have again? I don't used to see your chat on time, Mikaya, because I'm focused on the IDE. That's why. Okay, files operation. Yeah, Mikaya, this should be very, very important, right? Dobra, you can teach us files operation now.
I should teach.
I know you know it now, Abby.
Files
Uh-uh.
operation now.
Dobra, what are you saying?
I know it. Say something. Try. Say something. I should say something on file operation now.
You know it now. Yes, say something about it.
Okay. You want to create a file. Okay, about creating a file,
Okay.
you go to
Your file. You go to file.
files, which is at the top of your screen.
Okay.
Then you click on new file.
Dobra, are you there?
Sir,
That's not what I'm
yes, I'm
expecting
there.
now. Huh? That's not what I'm expecting anyways. So this is what we're trying to cover. We mean reading from a file and writing to a file in Python programming language.
Oh
Have you forgotten what you've learned?
no.
So now like this
No,
you go
I
learn
just
finish,
remember.
go school, forget wetin I teach you. Okay? So I'll come down here and say reading and writing from slash to a file. Okay? So now it's simple. To write to a file, you need to open the file first. To read from a file, you also need to open the file first. Okay? Now let's first of all write to a file. Now here what we do is we say file equals open. Now when you use the open built-in function, you first of all going to write the name of the file you want to open, and the file you want to open is micaiah.txt. Now, after opening the file, what mode do you want to open this file? I mean, after writing the name of the file, what mode do you want to open this file? Is it in write mode? Is it in read mode? Is it in append mode? Or are you writing a byte? So this is a text file and we want to write a text. So we are opening this file in write mode, which is W. Okay? Now you can come down here and say file dot close. Okay, computer resources are limited. Whenever you are done using a file, please close the file. Okay, so that it will release other resources that are associated with file and other memory allocation that were allocated to the file during operation. Sorry, during opening the file. So when I run this program, look at this side pane. This side pane, you can't see any file structure here or maybe any text file. But when I run this program, you're going to see micaiah.txt file here. So let me click on the play button to run, and nothing got printed, which means our program is right. And when you look at this, you can see micaiah.txt and it's an empty file. Okay, so we just open the file and close it, nothing much. But we want to write something into this file. Okay, I'll come in between this, I'll say file dot write. What do you want to write into the file? I want to write Micaiah. Okay, I'll go to the next line by clicking \n to go to the next line. I want to write another thing. I want to write Dobra. I'll come here and write Dobra. I'll go again. I'll write Daniel. I'll go again. I'll write Samuel. Okay. I'll go again. Who's with us here? Okay, it's fine. Let's leave it this way. Okay. Now, when I run this program, and you won't see anything printed, but you will see Micaiah, Dobra, Daniel, and Samuel in micaiah.txt. Now, when you look at the file, you can't see anything there. But when I go back to the program and click on the play button, and nothing got printed, which means our program ran successfully. And when we check the text, Micaiah, you can see Micaiah, Dobra, Daniel, and Samuel. Okay, that's that. That is how to write to a file. All right. Now, there is a context manager that helps you to close a file automatically whenever you are done writing to a file. This context manager was developed in mind that we are humans and we may mistakenly forget to close our file after opening it. So that way, I can comment this out. I'll come down here and we'll say with open micaiah.txt, then I'm opening it in write mode as file. Then I'll now come down here and say file.write this, file.write that, file.write this. Let me just copy this and I'll paste all of them here. Tab, uncomment them out. Okay. So when I have this, there is no need to have file.close because this will close it automatically. Okay. And when I run this, code runs successfully. There is no error. When I check Micaiah, I still have Micaiah, Dobra, Daniel, and Samuel. Okay? All right. When I open this file again, let me say I want to write only Micaiah, and I will remove Dobra, Daniel, and Samuel, and I want to write only Micaiah. So when I run this program runs successfully, no error. But when I check this file, can you see that we only have Micaiah, Daniel, Samuel, and other ones are gone. This is the reason is the reason why this happened is that we open this file in write mode. Now, if you want to append a text at the end or to a file that already has a content, imagine this is a 5-year sales record of your company, and instead of opening this file in an append mode, you open it in a write mode, you write another day of sales record, and you can see that all other years of record has gone. Okay, now to prevent this, you use the append mode that is provided by the open file function in Python programming language, which helps you to append a text at the ending of a file. Okay, when you come here, instead of writing this in W, the open mode in W, you can put A, which means append. That's the only difference. So when you run this program, you are going to see Micaiah twice because Micaiah already exists in the text, but you check it, you can see Micaiah twice. Then you can come here again to write other guys, which is Daniel, Samuel, and what's that? Daniel, Samuel, um, Dobra. Oh, I did not include Priye. Sorry about that. Priye, and that is that. Okay. When you execute this and check the file, you can see that we have Micaiah, Daniel, Samuel, Dobra, Priye. Okay. That is for appending to a file. Okay. Now, after writing to a file and you want to use it in the future, which means you want to read from the file. Okay. Now, reading from a file, you have to open it in a read mode. All right. So reading from a file, okay, let me name this writing to a file, and I'll come down here and I'll say, let me copy the whole of this anyway. I'll say reading from a file. Okay, reading from a file. Okay, so when I do this, I'll take away the whole of these guys, and here instead of A, I'll put R for read. Okay, so here I'll say file dot read lines. Okay, now this will read the whole lines in that text. So let me say usernames, or let me say names equals this dot read text. Then I'll come down here and I'll print names. Okay, so when I run this program, I'm going to see Micaiah slash new line, Micaiah slash new line, Daniel, this, and this. Okay, the new line character you are seeing here is the new line character we added whenever we're saving the file, whenever we're saving the names on the file, so that each name will be on a separate line. Okay, that's why you can see the comma here. So that's that. To write from a file, sorry, to write to a file and read from a file. That's that. You can go higher by reading a file line by line, seeking the current position in a file, the current cursor position in a file, and what else? Writing a byte, which means writing an image to a file. So then you write byte. Okay? So that's that. If you have any question, you can ask before we proceed to the next.
You said we always have to close the files. Why? And if I should open a file, can I open it again? I don't understand. Yeah, that's my question.
Okay, first, your question is, I said that we have to close a file after opening it, right?
Yes.
All right. I mentioned earlier that computer resources are limited. computer memory, computer hardwares, computer programs, they are limited. When I mean limited is they are not just there forever. They are not unlimited. You can't just start using them. Now, the essence of closing a file after opening it is to release all the resources that are attached to the file so that other programs or other hardwares that were attached to that file operation to make it possible for you to read or write to a file, they are all released so that other programs on the computer can access those resources. That is one. Then the second question is, can we open a file and still open it again? That was the question, right?
Yes,
Okay,
that
now,
was the question.
that was the essence I said. That was the reason I said computer resources are very limited. Okay, to me, there's no point opening a file that is already open. Okay, now, if you try to open a file that is already open, you may not have access. You understand? Now, this is depending on the computer system that you're using. For instance, you're using should I say a computer system that has 2 gigabytes of RAM doesn't exist these days. You are using a computer system that uses about 4 gigabytes of RAM and it runs PyCharm, which is a heavy IDE, and you try opening a file and at the same time try to open that file while it is still open. Okay, see what? Let's just practicalize this and see the effect. But we may not actually see the effect because my system is 16 gigabyte of RAM and 1 terabyte SSD. So, but let's just try it and see what Python, how intelligently Python interpreter can behave. Okay, I'll go back to my IDE and I'll come down here. I'll say file equals open, then Micaiah.txt, and I'm opening in write mode. Okay, I'll come down here. I'll say file two rather. Here I'll say file two equals open, then Micaiah.txt, and I'm opening it in read mode. Okay, now I want to execute this program now. Let me see. Now there is no error. Okay, but now when you come down here to say file dot is open, sorry, file dot is closed rather, file dot closed, not is closed, file dot closed, then here file two dot closed. Okay, now when I run this, let me print first so that I can see the output. Print file dot closed, and I'll come here. I'll also check print file two dot closed. Okay, it's not callable. Sorry, dot close. On this dot close. Okay, when I run this, now you can see false because we've not closed this file. Okay, now whatever attention that CPU, which is your central processing unit, paid to this file when it was open, those attention are still on that file because it hasn't been closed. Now your CPU will be multitasked in this approach because if you try to run other programs, this portion or these resources that were attached to this file while it is open, they are still in use. So other processes, other program, or should I say other hardwares cannot access these resources while they are attached on this file. Okay, now it's a good practice to close a file after opening it. It's also a good practice never to open a file twice while it is open. So try to close a file and open it again whenever you want to use it. Okay, I mean you can do that, but why try to overuse what is limited? So that's why it's advisable to close a file after using it to save computer resources which is limited. Okay, so let me know if you have any other question, if that answered your question correctly.
Yes, my questions are answered. I don't have any other question.
Okay, thank you very much. Dobra, are you gone? Samzi, okay, Samzi is here. Okay, so what else do we have? What else? Who has any question? Although this should be only a topic for Mikaya. We've covered these files. Okay. Then the next one is string. Mikaya, do you think you have any issue with string now?
No, I don't have any issues with strings.
Okay, data type should be a bread and butter, right?
Yes.
Okay, then built-in functions like the range, the open, the string, the int, the bool, and many of them. Okay, you can't just have them stocked in your head. Okay, there are rooms for search. You can make your research. There are huge Python communities where you can ask your questions and other things. All right. So tomorrow, please, please, and please, tomorrow by 8 p.m. we are meeting and we'll be discussing functions in Python programming language. Okay.
Okay.
So for your assignment, this for everyone that appeared in this class.
No
And
physical class tomorrow.
no, or do you guys want physical class?
No, I'm just asking.
No.
There is no class again, no.
Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. I forgot.
Now,
Sorry.
now you guys they hold me now. I beg go try to submit. What's it called? Try to submit your project before the next class, please. Try to submit your project before the next class, please. Please, 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 and please. Okay. Now, I'll be creating a classroom.